Is Sikhi a religion? Is Sikhi a philosophy? Is Sikhi a social movement? The reality is that Sikhi fulfills the definition of all three of these things. It fulfills the definition of a religion. It fulfills the definition of a philosophical movement. And it fulfills the definition of a social movement. So it is, just someone sitting there? It fulfills all three. And then we have to ask ourselves the next question. Why was Sikhi created? Was Guru Nanak Sahib just a social reformer who saw the bad things in India and wanted to make them better? Did he do this as an intellectual exercise? Did he see Islam and Hinduism and other religions and he thought, I'll come up with my own ideas? Or was he simply continuing the work of the Bhagats like Kabirji and Namdev? The truth is that Sikhi is beyond definitions. And Sikhi cannot be explained easily by any one of these categories. Sikhi's category is something unique. A religion is defined as a system of beliefs where you believe in God and you have rituals or practices. A philosophy is a system of understanding the larger world. Sikhi was not made by anybody. Sikhi da prakash hoya. Sikhi was revealed. It was revealed by Guru Nanak Sahib Ji and expounded upon by the later Guru Sahibs. It was not something that was made by one person. It was revealed by Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. In the talk this morning, we talked about Guru Nanak Sahib Ji's experience in the Bay Nadi. And I wanted to talk about in more detail what happened inside the river. Now, of course, when we think about what happened, it's not a literal thing. Hanji. He disappeared, very good. It's not a literal thing. He didn't literally speak to Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Vaheguru Sahib, where does Vaheguru live? Inside our heart, right? Vaheguru is within us. So the experience that Guru Nanak Sahib Ji had over generations, Sikhs have understood it in this literal way as a teaching tool, as a way for it to make sense. For example, 100 years ago, it made sense for them to show it like this. They showed like Devte and stuff taking Guru Nanak Sahib Ji to Sachkhand, and they showed Sachkhand looking like Harmandir Sahib. You see here. So that was the idea 100 years ago, and these ideas change over time. They change as our understanding changes. But the reality of what happened, I'm going to explain it like it was explained in the Janam Sakhis. How it was explained there. What happened to Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. So Guru Nanak Sahib Ji went and he was inside of a divan, of a darbar. And on the takat was Vaheguru. And Guru Sahib Ji went in front of Vaheguru and he matha tek. And Guru Sahib Ji revealed Bani at different stages of this experience. So when he came to the door of the divan, for example, he revealed Sodar Bani. And when he came inside, Guru Sahib Ji revealed different Banis as he interacted with Vaheguru Sahib Ji. And Vaheguru Sahib Ji gave Guru Nanak Sahib Ji Mool Mantra. He gave him Gur Mantra. And he gave him, Mool Mantra and Gur Mantra. So he gave him Vaheguru Mantra and he gave him Ik Oankar, Satnam, Karta Purkh, Nirpo, Nirvair, and so on. Guru Sahib Ji then was given a bata and he drank Amrit. out of the bata. And after he drank the Amrit out of the bata, he was given a khadak, a sword of wisdom, Gyan Khadak. And then Guru Sahib Ji had a dastar put on top of it, on top of his head. And the dastar represented the Gurgaddi, that he was Guru now. When we talk about what makes Sikhi authentic, or what is our connection to Vaheguru, it is a direct connection. A direct connection from Guru Nanak Sahib Ji to Akal Purkh Vaheguru. That's the experience that was passed on generation by generation. I'm not going to read all of this, but just a few lines. This is again from Ganjanama, what I was speaking earlier from Bhai Nandalji's Bani. Vaheguru Sahib says, I reside within you and there is none beside me. I am sovereign and just. Show the world how to connect with me. All are made sacred by my qualities. Those who praise you will be heart and mind praising me. The idea of Guru Parameshwar. That if you are praising your Guru, it's like praising Vaheguru Sahib Ji. That there's no distinction between Vaheguru and Guru. We can see here Guru Nanak Sahib Ji is criticizing the people who are in religions right now. That the religious leaders are tricking people. They claim to bring people back from the dead. They claim to turn water into fire and fire into water. And Guru Sahib Ji said, or Vaheguru Sahib is saying to Guruji, they are just tricking you. They are confusing you. What is real is my path. And I am sending you with my path. Now I want you to think about what Guru Sahib Ji received there. He received a dastar, he received Amrit, and he received a khadak, or a kirpan or khanda we can call it. Now let's see what Guru Angad Sahib Ji got from Guru Nanak Sahib Ji according to Bhai Satta and Bhai Balwant. Bhai Satta Bhai Balwant se Nanak Raj chalaya sach kot satani neev de lene taryon chat sir kar sifti amrit piv de ki unhone amrit pita se. Now this is in a metaphorical sense, but you see the same connections being made. What Guru Nanak Sahib Ji received from Vaheguru, Guru Sahib Ji gave to Guru Angad Sahib Ji. Mat Gur Atam Dev Di Kharag Jor Parakoi Ji De. He gave Guru Nanak, he gave Guru Angad Sahib Ji a khanda, a khadak. Te o gyan da khadak si. Brahm Gyan da. O Gyan da khadak that was received from Guru Nanak Sahib Ji that he got from Vaheguru. Gur challe re raski Nanak salamat thiv de. So then Guru Nanak Sahib Ji matha teked in front of Guru Angad Sahib Ji, Pailena Sahib Ji, and he became, Pailena became Guru Angad Sahib Ji. Professor Pooran Singh Lakhdea, in the constitution of the Khalsa Commonwealth, the greatest act of genius of Guru Gobind Singh was when he transferred the divine sovereignty vested in him into the God-inspired people, the Khalsa. So Guru Sahib Ji took the divine experience that Guru Nanak Sahib Ji had received, and then Guru Nanak Sahib Ji passed that on to Guru Angad Sahib Ji. Guru Angad Sahib Ji passed it on to Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji, and so on, generation after generation, it was passed on until it came to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. And then Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, he took that Amrit, that Khadak, that dastar of Gurgaddi, and unhone sara kuch Khalsa Panth nu deta. They gave that to the Guru Khalsa Panth. So when we talk about our dastar, where does our dastar come from? It comes from Vaheguru Akal Purkh directly. Where does our kirpan come from? Our kirpan was given by Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, but that was just the literal kirpan. what it represents, the metaphorical Kirpan, that was given by Vaheguru to Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. The dastar that we tie on our heads was given by Vaheguru to Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. A dastar koi shorti cheez nahi hai, it's not a little thing. It's a very high thing. It is what would signify someone would become the next Guru. The Baba Buddha Ji, for the first 6 Gurus, or not besides Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, and then later on Baba Buddha Ji's descendants, they would tie the dastar onto the new Guru. That was a ceremony. That was a final step in becoming the Guru, was having the dastar tied on you. So having the dastar tied is not a little thing. Guru Nanak's disciple Lerna is made Angad, a limb of his own body. The historical succession from Nanak to Angad, etched in the 10th Guru's memory, was eventually reproduced by him. He made the Khalsa a limb of himself. Khalsa mera roop hai khas. Right? Okay, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, his relationship with the Khalsa Panth, that's the same relationship that Guru Nanak Sahib Ji had with Bhai Lerna. That pyar that Guru Nanak Sahib Ji had for Bhai Lerna, that he matha taked in front of him, who did Guru Gobind Singh Ji receive Amrit from? Panch Pyare, from the Khalsa Panth. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ Amrit ਛਕਿਆ ਸੀ, right? So the Panch Pyare are representing, we, the Khalsa Panth, are representing Bhai Lerna. And when we come to the Guru, we are transformed. Like Bhai Lerna was transformed into Guru Angad Sahib Ji, we are transformed into Kaurs and Singhs of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Even the Akal Takht Sahib, which is a central institution of Sikhi, and the Akal Takht, we'll talk about it a little bit more, what the Akal Takht represents. Even the Akal Takht is originally Guru Nanak Sahib Ji's Takht. By Nanda Ji likhde, the divine has blessed Guru Nanak as sovereign of Miri and Piri. The divine itself has placed Guru Nanak on the highest throne. Okay, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji da takht sab to ucha hai. By Nanda Ji likhde. The throne of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji is the highest throne. We see in Bhai Gurdas Ji's Vara, Satgur Sacha Patsa, Sa Sangat Sach Takht Suhela, that the Takht of the Guru, that the Guru is a true Patsha and the Guru sits on the true Takht. So I want to talk a little bit about Akal Takht Sahib, which used to be called Akal Bunga Sahib, or Takht Sri Akal Bunga Sahib was the official name of it. Akal Takht Sahib was built by Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, but it wasn't brought into being by Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. It was brought into being by Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji just revealed it to the world. Like Guru Gobind Singh Ji revealed the Khalsa in 1699, but the Khalsa has always existed. Same way Akal Takht has always existed, because the Takht is the throne of Guru Nanak. There's some very important ideas here. First of all, it's not Nanak Takht. It's not Hargobind Takht. It's Akal Takht there. That's the first thing. What is the only thing that cannot be destroyed or made in this universe? Akal Purkh. The only thing that can't be destroyed is that which can't be born, right? Akal Sepang, right? Self-created. So same way, if our Takht is to be an eternal Takht, if it's going to last for all time, it cannot be a Takht of any one individual. It's not even the Takht of the Guru. It's a Takht where the Guru sits. But the Takht belongs to Akal Purkh Vaheguru Sahib Ji. That's why it's called Akal Takht. That's why the Akal Takht can be destroyed so many times in Sikh history, again and again. But it doesn't matter. Because the destruction of the Akal Takht is the destruction of bricks and marble and mortar. और जिहड़ा institution है अकाल तख्त साहिब दा ओह नहीं टुट सकदा. You can't break the underlying ideology of Akal Takht. The location of Akal Takht is also very important. Amritsar Sahib is a city that was blessed by 3 Guru Sahibs. More Gurus visited there, obviously, but 3 Guru Sahibs lived there, spent their Gurgaddi there. Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, and Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. And the Darbar Sahib complex, as we know it today, was made by all 3 of those Gurus. Who made the Sarovar? Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji. And who made Harmandir Sahib in the Sarovar? Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji made the Akal Takht. Oh, pura institution, oh Darbar Sahib hai. ਜਦੋਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਜ਼ਮਾਨੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਉਹ ਹਰਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ. They weren't talking about Harmandir Sahib. Harmandir Sahib is separate. Darbar Sahib is a whole institution. The Sarovar, Harmandir Sahib, and Akal Takht. The Akal Takht has to be facing the Harmandir Sahib, but it's also off-center, if you look. It's off-center so that when you are doing darshan of Akal Takht, your back is not turned to Harmandir Sahib. The original platform, the original Akal Takht, does anybody know how tall it is? It's still there behind the glass. You can do darshan of it. The original Takht that Baba Burda Ji and Pai Gurdas Ji made. Anybody know how tall it is? It was 12 feet tall. And how tall was the Delhi Emperor's throne? 9 feet tall. So Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji purposely built the Akal Takht higher than the highest government in the land to show that nothing was higher than the Akal Takht. I want us to think also about the ideas behind Hunjilo Sarovar Banyasi. Everybody did seva. Hindus did seva, Muslims did seva, Sikhs did seva. Seva was open to everybody. When Harmandir Sahib was made, the seva was done by everybody again. It was open to everybody. But when Akal Takht was made, it was very exclusive. So exclusive that Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji made each brick himself. He took the mitti and he baked the clay and he made the bricks himself. No second person touched that mitti. And the only people allowed to build the thara, it was just a platform. The building was made later. This building on the picture, this was made during Ranjit Singh's time. But before, at the beginning, Guru Hargobind Sahib's time, it was just a tall platform that Guru Hargobind Sahib would sit on top of. Only Baba Burda Ji and Pai Gurdas Ji were allowed to build the Takht. And at that time, there were no higher Sikhs than Baba Burda Ji and Pai Gurdas. If you wanted to talk about Gursikhi, those were the greatest Gursikhs, and only they were allowed to touch it. This rule of Akal Takht being exclusive space was kept up to modern time. Even when the British came to Harmandir Sahib, the Sangat stopped them from walking into Akal Takht. Because anybody who was not Amritari was not allowed in Akal Takht. If Sikhi is open to everybody, and Harmandir Sahib has 4 darwaje, and Harmandir Sahib is open to people from every race, ethnicity, everything, gender, doesn't matter what category it is, everyone's welcome. Why is Akal Takht so exclusive? What are some ideas? What do you guys think? Why can only, historically, why did only Amritaris be allowed inside Akal Takht? Why did only Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji make the bricks? Hanji. Okay.
Keep the constitution in the hands of Gursikhs.
Okay, keep the institution in the hands of Gursikhs. Yep. Constitution. It's okay, very good. Hanji.
There's a political center, so all political decisions, etc., should be in the hands of Gursikhs.
This is a very loose idea. It's hard to compare Sikh institutions to non-Sikh institutions because these are Guru-made institutions and they're revealed. They're made by Vaheguru Sahib Akal Purkh. So comparing them to things like the White House and stuff, it doesn't work exactly, because those were made by human beings with mistakes, with faults, right? They're not perfect. But essentially, Akal Takht used to act as a political executive of the Khalsa Panth. It acted as a supreme court of the Khalsa Panth, and it acted as the Pentagon of the Khalsa Panth. So it wasn't just political decisions, this is where military decisions were made. Now, who was fighting in the Khalsa army? Only people who had given their heads to the Guru were fighting in the 1700s. Only the people who had made a commitment to Guru Sahib, they were the ones who were fighting for the Khalsa Panth. You had to make that commitment. Then you became a soldier for the Khalsa. So would you let a non-military person come and make decisions in the Pentagon? No. It's illogical. In the same way, why would we allow people who have not made a commitment to the Guru to make decisions in the Akal Takht? Decisions in the Akal Takht can only be made by those who have made a commitment to the Guru. Making a commitment to the Guru used to be a much bigger deal than it is today, because back then it was a death sentence. If you took Amrit, it meant literally there was a price on your head. So that's how the Panth stayed so great, because it weeded out all of us who were too weak, and only the really strong stayed. To go back to the Akal Takht slide. So the Akal Takht is where we used to make decisions. Now, does anybody know how we used to make our decisions? Khalsa Panth kidan decision banande hunde si? Panch Pyare was one model. So sometimes we used Panch Pyare, and we also did another system. Anybody know? Sarbat Khalsa. Head Granthi of Darbar Sahib, while respected position, was not that important in the post-Guru Gobind Singh Ji era. Besides Bhai Mani Singh, we don't really know the names of the Head Granthi of Darbar Sahib until Ranjit Singh that time. We don't know who was there for a period of 60, 70 years.
Head Granthis of Darbar Sahib always have been Jathedars for.
Yeah. Even the term Jathedar of Akal Takht, we can get into that a little bit later. Even the term Jathedar of Akal Takht is a modern invention. It never used to be called Jathedar. It used to be called Mukh Pujari. But the Sarbat Khalsa system was a way of making decisions. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. How did Guru Nanak Sahib Ji's Sangat become the Khalsa? So one thing to keep in mind in your own lives is that instantaneous change is impossible. If we look around the world, when these revolutions happen, like in Egypt or in Libya, where else did the Arab Spring happen? Tunisia. Where a lot of these places where these revolutions happened in the last 15 years, they didn't last very long. Because the old system just changed a little bit, and they changed the person on top, but the system stayed the same, and they just got a new person on top that was just as oppressive. And the system itself didn't change very much. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji saw the world as it is. He understood that real change takes time. When Guru Nanak Sahib Ji was at Ahmedabad and he saw Babur come and invade and kill and destroy so many people. The Babur was a great grandson of Genghis Khan, and he followed the Mongol ideas that when you attack a place, if they don't submit to you, you destroy everything of theirs. You destroy their homes, you sexually assault the women, you take all their wealth. This is what used to happen. If the city agreed to Babur's reign and gave up without a fight, then they would not get touched. But if you tried to fight and you lost, then you were destroyed. And so Babur destroyed Ahmedabad. And Guru Nanak Sahib Ji was witness to that. We can see in the Babur Vani the 4 Shabads that were revealed by Guru Sahib Ji while he was in Ahmedabad. That Guru Sahib Ji is really feeling in his heart the experience of the people. He talks about what's happened to the women. He talks about what happened to the religious people. He's talking about what's happened to the poor and rich people are both being treated the same. Now Guru Sahib Ji could not do anything to stop Babur. He had no army. He had no Khalsa Panth with him. All he had with him was Bhai Lalo and Bhai Mardana. But Guru Nanak Sahib Ji did not still stay silent. We know that he spoke to Babur, and to his face he called him Shaitan, which means Satan. That's where the word Shaitan comes from. And Guru Nanak Sahib Ji called Babur Shaitan, and he said that what you're doing is evil. And what happened to Guru Nanak Sahib Ji because of this? Does anybody know? He went to jail. He was the first Sikh political prisoner. How many Guru Sahibs went to jail? Anybody know? Yeah, 4, very good. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. So 4 Guru Sahibs spent time in jail. And of course, 2 of those Guru Sahibs were Shaheed as well, right? So Guru Nanak Sahib Ji was jailed for what he did. He realized that to make change, you have to develop things slowly. And so over the next 10 generations, over the next 240 years, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji developed the Sikh Panth into the Khalsa Panth. He built us up stage by stage by stage. What was Guru Angad Sahib Ji's lessons? What did Guru Angad Sahib Ji, what is he famous for doing with his Gurmukhi? In the morning time, he would teach Gurmukhi, and in the afternoon, what would he teach? Wrestling. So that's where our martial tradition starts from. It starts right from the beginning. Well, that was another thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, Akal Takht Sahib, who here has had darshan of Akal Takht? In the middle, what's in the middle? Guru Granth Sahib Ji? No, Shastra. The focal point, the heart of the Takht is not Guru Granth Sahib Ji, it's the Shastras. And that used to be the case on all the Takhts. The Patna Sahib, Hazur Sahib, Keskar Sahib, and Akal Takht Sahib. Damdama Sahib was made later into a Takht. That the focal point was the Shastras, not Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Because Guru Granth Sahib Ji is open and available to everyone in Harmandir Sahib. Everyone can do darshan of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Because Guru Granth Sahib Ji is Jagat Guru, not just Guru of the Sikh Panth. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is Guru of everybody. Anybody can get lessons from there. But the Akal Takht is not the political, military, judicial capital of all people. It's those who have made a commitment to Guru Nanak. Those who have made a commitment to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Those people's institution is Akal Takht. And so to represent the creative power of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, we have the Shastras at Akal Takht. And that's what the focal point is. When Guru Nanak Sahib Ji went around, he started the idea of Sangat leadership. And Sangat leadership started with wherever he went, he started a Sangat. And the Sangat would be in charge of the Dharmsala that existed there. So if he went to Sajjan Tag, he told Sajjan Tag, when he became Bhai Sajjan, he said, make a dharamsala out of your house and do seva of people here and create a sangat. And the sangat will make the decisions. So the sangat leadership idea started right from Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji didn't tell people, I'm going to make the decisions. You have to come to me to learn what to do. He said, you figure it out on your own using the principles I've taught you. Using the skills I've given you, you figure out how to make decisions. After this, the next step in the evolution of the Panth, from Sikh Panth to Khalsa Panth, is Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji. So he then makes the Panth more administrative. He creates like a bureaucratic system to control the Panth. And Guru Sahib Ji makes 22 manjis, right? And these manjidar, some of them are women as well. Now the authority, the ultimate authority was always in Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji. But on a local level, if you wanted to make a decision, if you wanted to decide what to do as a community, you would ask your manjidar. Your manjidar represented the Guru. Now giving that much power to one person, did that end up working out long term? No. And in fact, the manjidar system, let's question something here. If Guru Amar Das Ji made the manjidar system and it became so corrupt that by Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time, Guru Sahib had to kill some of the manjidars, some of the masans. If it became so corrupt within 4 or 5 generations, does that mean that Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji made a mistake? No. So the Guru is perfect, the Guru can't make a mistake. What it shows is that the Guru is giving us a lesson. Guruji is saying, do not run your organizations using this model. In the future, don't run the Panth according to this model. Don't give all the power to one single individual. Because what happens when you give it to one single individual? They might be good, but will their child be good? Not always. And most likely their grandchild will be even worse. And so, generation after generation, if it just stays in the family, the system of leadership becomes corrupt, or it becomes useless. As we can see what happened after Maharaja Ranjit Singh's death, right? We had 6 kings in a period of 7 years, I think, one after another. Now a lot of that was also British conspiracies working behind the scenes, but at the same time, none of them were good leaders like Ranjit Singh, right? That's a problem with a single person leadership. Guru Amar Das Ji even used to have a saying, Guru vi bisve ate sangat ikki bisve. That the Guru is 20 parts, but the sangat is 21 parts, meaning the sangat has authority even over the Guru in some special circumstances. So Guru Amar Das Ji used to have the same. Does anybody know what the word Khalsa means? Pure. Any other meanings of Khalsa? Belonging to a Kalpurk. Very good. So the first mention of the word Khalsa is in Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's Hukam to Kabul. And in that he says, Sangat meri Khalsa hai. Okay, the Sangat is my Khalsa. And this refers to the second definition of the word Khalsa. Khalsa means pure. It also means that which is directly governed by the emperor. So for example, in Canada, land that is owned directly by the government is called what? Crown land. So crown land is like Khalsa land for Queen Elizabeth. Khalsa means you have a direct connection to the emperor. There's nothing in between you and the emperor. You don't have any small kings or lords or nawabs or anybody in between. You are directly connected. The idea of being Khalsa, think about that meaning of Khalsa and then think about when we say Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. What a strongly political statement that is. Imagine you're saying that in a situation where the government is oppressing Sikhs, and you're saying, we are the Khalsa, we belong only to Vaheguru, and everything that we achieve is because of Vaheguru. Imagine the power of that statement. What was the first thing that Baba Fateh Singh and Baba Jujhar Singh said when they went into Vizier Khan's court? Vaheguru Khalsa Vaheguru Fateh. That's the power of that statement. Vizier Khan was shocked when he heard that. He was blown away. These little kids would dare defy me in my own court? That's the power of that statement. So, Guru Khalsa Panth is the perfect Guru. And while the Granth can't exist without the Panth is not equal to the Granth. Guru Khalsa Panth is not equal to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In fact, if you look at the Nishan Sahibs in front, next to Akal Takht, the Meaty Nishan Sahib is a little bit shorter than the Piri Nishan Sahib. And the same thing goes with the original Kirpans of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. The Piri Kirpan is longer than the Meaty Kirpan. Because the Granth is always highest. So when we're talking about Guru Khalsa Panth, sometimes we lose focus about Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Let's remember that Guru Granth Sahib Ji is a perfect Guru, that nothing can be greater than Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and that the authority of the Guru Khalsa Panth is very narrow. Guru Khalsa Panth has authority over political decisions, over military decisions, over community decisions. But Guru Khalsa Panth does not have any control over someone's spirituality. Guru Khalsa Panth can't give you kirpa. Guru Khalsa Panth can't give you forgiveness for some crime you've committed. Actually, we can. We do it in the caste system. But we cannot, of your inner mistakes, Guru Khalsa Panth cannot forgive those. Those are Guru Granth Sahib Ji's responsibilities. So Guru Granth Sahib Ji is responsible for all of our internal spiritual and external spiritual health. But Guru Khalsa Panth is responsible for what the Khalsa does, how it acts and how it behaves. And that Guru Khalsa Panth is epitomized within the Panch Pyare. The Panch Pyare are the Sargun Swarup of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. They are the visible embodiment of Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. The idea of Panch goes right to the beginning of Sikhi. Again, all of these ideas, Akal Takht, now we're talking about Panch Pyare, and later we're going to be talking about Sarbat Khalsa. All of these things trace their root back to Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. They all start with Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. Let's take a break for a second and everybody stand up and just stretch. Stand up. People are falling asleep after lunchtime.
I'm actually pushing. Oh God.
Okay, please sit down.
I use the job on the laptop to like sort out my files. So I just have to speak out continuously. So I can put the files in that and speak out to different.
So in Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Sahib talks about the Panch. Now the Panch is not exactly Panch, but it's related to it. It's a related term from the Sanskrit. And it has that idea of the chosen ones, the ones who are blessed by Vaheguru. And what's very interesting is that within that same pori, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji says, Tol Tarn Daya Ka Put. And what were the names of the first two Panch Pyare? Daya Singh and Tarn Singh. The Tol Tarn Daya Ka Put. The Tarn comes after Daya, and Daya Singh, Tarn Singh came next. We can see even the Khalsa Panth links itself back to Japji Sahib. We have a few lines here by Gurdas Ji. Ek Sikh, Doi Saat Sangat, Doi Saat Sang, Panji Parmeshwar. Parmeshwar hai Panj Mil, Lekh Alekh na Keemat Pai, Panj Mile Par Panch Taj, Anhad Sabad, Sabad Liv Lai, Saat Sangat Sohan Gur Pai. Saat Sangat Sohan Gur Pai. Bhai Gurdas Ji was Guru Amar Das Ji's nephew. And he is writing during the time of Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji and Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So this early in Sikhi, they are talking about Panch Pyare. Well, Panch Pyare do not start with Guru Gobind Singh Ji. It starts much earlier. He's saying, where five sit, the divine is there, and the mystery of this divine cannot be comprehended. We can't understand how five become like Vaheguru Parmeshwar. We can't understand that. It's out of our thinking. But only if those Panj reject hypocrisy and merge their minds into Shabad. So it can't just be any random five people. It has to be five people who are merged into Gurbani, merged into Shabad, Gursikh. Those five, if they sit together, they are like the Guru. So we know from Sikh history, some people say our Nahang brothers, in fact, say that each of the Gurus had their own Panch Pyare. I haven't found any evidence for Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, Guru Angad Sahib Ji, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji having had Panch Pyare, but it is possible. But we do know that 5, 6 went with Guru Arjan Sahib Ji when he gave himself up for Shahidi in Lahore. Ke Panch Sikh gaye si Guru Sahib de naal. And when Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji went to Gwalior, he also went with 5, 6. And when Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji went to Delhi to give himself up for arrest, 5, 6 went with him too. 2 of them went back to Anandpur Sahib, and 3 of them stayed. And those 3 were shaheed with Guru Sahib Ji, right? Bhai Matidas, Bhai Satidas, and Bhai Dayallah. So the Panch Pyare begin with the earlier Gurus. We also know that in Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time, there were 3 instances where the Panj ordered Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And these are not instances where Guru Sahib Ji made a mistake. This is about Guru Sahib Ji building capacity in his Sikh Panth to teach them that this is your power, this is your responsibility, this is what you have the capability of doing. So Guru Sahib Ji once was on horseback and he went past the samad of a famous Muslim sant, and Guruji lifted his tir. And the Sikhs who were there said, Guruji, you told us that we can't give any respect to any place where people are buried, that that's against Sikhi. And so Guru Gobind Singh Ji had to pay a tamkha of 5 rupees to the Panth for having done that. When Guru Sahib Ji left Anandpur Sahib, Guruji knew that leaving Anandpur Sahib was not the best decision, but the Panch Pyare asked him to leave. And so Guruji said Sat Bachan, and they left Anandpur Sahib. And finally, when it came time to leave Chamkaur Sahib, Guru Sahib Ji was getting ready to go and fight, but the Panch Pyare told Guru Sahib Ji you have to leave. And Guru Sahib Ji said, I will leave, but what was his one condition? Yeah. Can you say louder, Praji? Tari maar ke. Yeah, I'm not going to leave quietly. I'm going to leave with jakare and clapping so that people know that Guru Gobind Singh Ji doesn't run away. And finally, we know that when Baba Banda Singh Bahadur was sent by Guru Gobind Singh Ji to free Punjab, he was sent with 5 Sikhs. 5 Sikhs went with him. And the head of those 5 Sikhs was Bhai Binod Singh, who was the 13th descendant of Guru Angad Sahib Ji. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, we're talking about the Khalsa Panth, we're talking about decision making. Does anybody know how the Sarbat Khalsa used to happen in the 1700s? Ki kitna karde si Sarbat Khalsa? Hanji.
I know they had a mace.
Okay. They had one person with a mace, yeah. Hanji?
Was it like either like an impending, like a very urgent political decision, or it was called by the Muqtadar of Khalsa?
Yeah. So usually they were held on Vaisakhi or Diwali. Those were the 2 times of the year where they would have the decisions. About 6 months apart, they would meet. And Diwali and Vaisakhi were chosen as days from Guru Amar Das Ji's time, as time for the Sikh Panth to come together. If a decision came up that needed to be made right away and they couldn't wait till Diwali or Vaisakhi, then they would hold it fast sooner than that. They would hold it usually at Akal Takht, but it was not essential for it to be held at Akal Takht. In fact, we have historical evidence that a Sarbat Khalsa were held in other locations. It was a Sarbat Khalsa that was attacked in the Vardakalukara, for example. And so that was outside of Amritsar. That was in Kuprahira? Kuprahira. And they also did Sarbat Khalsa in the desert in Rajasthan as well, when the Panth was there. So you're like, even if the population of the Panth was way less than it is today, how did they get 60, 70,000 people to make one decision? How is that possible? Well, first of all, 70,000 people were not in the discussion. Each of the Panth was split up into different groups. And each group had a Jathedar. And so only the Jathedars would meet and talk. The rest of the Sangat would wait outside in Harmandir Sahib, around Harmandir Sahib on the Prakarma. How many, for example, missiles, how many missiles would show up? No, there were 12 missiles, but only 11 would show up. 11 missiles. Before that, there were Panji Jathe, for example. So it depended on how the Panth was organized at the time. Sometimes the Panth used Burda Dal and Tarna Dal. Sometimes the Panth used Panji Jathe. Sometimes it used 60 Jathe. Sometimes it used missile system. Depending on the situation, the Panth kept reorganizing itself. They didn't stick to one system. The Jathedars would come together. And how were Jathedars chosen? Does anybody know? Jathedars were chosen as not only who the greatest warrior was, but who the greatest Sikh was. Bhai Jassa Singh Ahluwalia was not just chosen because he was a great warrior or because he was trained by Nawab Kapoor Singh, but also because he learned how to do kirtan for Mata Sundari. Baba Deep Singh was not just chosen because he's a great warrior, but because of also all of the knowledge he had. So the leaders of the Jathas were chosen based on how exemplary they were as Sikhs. That was the decision making. The Jathedars would come together, and there'd be one person who we would today call the Jathedar of Akal Takat, who would have the mace to make sure that everybody stayed in line and didn't speak out of turn. Before they spoke though, they all had to go around the circle and they had to agree with each other that they didn't have any personal problems with the other person. If you had any personal fight with any other Jathedar, you would remove yourself from the discussion. You say, "Aisi discussion again, we have a sadi ladai aapas de vich." That we can't have a genuine, calm discussion without bringing our emotion in. Then the Jathedars will have the discussion. It could go on for hours or days. They would talk until everybody was satisfied. That's called consensus-based democracy. And consensus-based democracy is not impossible. You know the Quaker oats? The cereal, Quaker oats? That's named after a real religion. It's a type of Christian called Quakers. They still run their meetings using consensus-based democracy. Everybody in the meeting has to agree to every decision, and only when everybody agrees do they move on. What this means though, is that sometimes you're not happy. So you have three choices. You can agree, you can disagree, or you can say, "I don't care either way. If it goes through, I'm fine. If it doesn't go through, I'm fine. I don't really like it, but I don't dislike it so much that I want it to stop." So the nimrata di lorsi, you have to be humble. When you said no to something, it had to be on a real issue, and it had to be on something that the rest of the group could then discuss. And if they could appease you, then they would move on to the next decision. That's how they made their decisions. So this is an amazing idea. When they're sitting there together, they were thinking that we are representing the Khalsa Panth. They were thinking we are the Khalsa Panth. We are representing Guru Gobind Singh Ji sitting here. So we have to carry ourselves a certain way. We have to speak in a certain way. We can't just be stupid. We can't just get mad at each other. We can't just cause arguments for no reason. We have to take this seriously. And they would take it very seriously. Then they would take that and they would call it a mata, the decision they made. And they would go to the outside of Akal Takat, to this part of Akal Takat, above the Thara, where the Shastras are behind there, and they would stand there and they would read out the mata. They would say, "This is a mata that we have." And then the whole Sangat got to decide. If anybody in the Sangat disagreed, they would have to listen to that person. But people only disagreed if it was really a big issue to them. For example, in 1919, they held a Sarbat Khalsa when they made the SGPC. And when they made the SGPC, they made a 5-member steering committee. And on that steering committee was Sant Teja Singh, the one who started the Gurdwara here in BC. But when they came out to read the mata to the Sangat, 1/6 stood up and said Teja Singh shouldn't be part of the steering committee. And nowadays, we would just jump on that person and kick him out or beat him up. But they said, "Why? Like, kyun?" And he said, "I've been to their dera at Mastawale and they matha take to him. Unu matha take there." So in front of the whole Sangat, Sant Teja Singh had to ask for maafi in front of everybody. And he had to promise, "I will never let anybody matha take to me again." That's how the Sikh Panth used to work. The leadership was held accountable by the Panth who was responsible. And the leadership was humble enough that if they made a mistake, they would admit to it. And they would own up to it. That's how the Panth used to work. How can we make a system like that work today? In the next 10 minutes, I want us to just brainstorm some ideas and think about some ideas. Should the Panth be divided into geographic regions? Should the Panth be divided into jathebandis? How do you decide how much representation each jathebandi gets, or how much each sampradaya gets, or how much the population gets? If we go by population, the Punjab Sikhs have control over everything. They have more than 80% of the population of the Sikh Panth is in Punjab, right? The population outside of Punjab is still less than 10 million. So these are some real questions we have to ask ourselves. How do we want to run a Panth? The first step we have to learn is how to have discussions. So I recommend to all Sikh Jathibandiyan and groups, this is what I recommend, that you start making decisions based on consensus-based democracy. You start using Sarbat Khalsa model. When you're sitting amongst yourselves and the leaders of Khalsa Camp BC have to decide whether we're going to call Santbir Singh back next year or not, then they have to decide, all of them have to agree. And if one person disagrees, they have to listen to that person and hear them out and see if they can adjust the decision to keep that person happy as well. That's how decisions used to be made in the Panth. The decisions used to be made in the Panth in that way because each individual Sikh was given so much respect and love in that time. The power of each Sikh was so much. Each Sikh considered themselves to be the representative of the Guru. And because each Sikh considered themselves to be the representative of the Guru, you couldn't ignore any one Sikh. It didn't matter if they were the richest, the highest, or the lowest. They all had to be treated with respect. All their decisions needed to be followed. Okay, we're wrapping up now. There's only a few minutes because you guys have to go to bowling today. But before we do, I wanted to ask questions because last time there were a lot of questions. If there are some questions that people have. Hanji ji.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਰਡ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਉਹ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਕਬੀਰ ਜਲ ਪਏ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਖਾਲਸਾ ਉਹ ਦੂਜਾ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਪਿਓਰ ਦੋ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਦੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਦੇਖ ਪਾ ਦੇ ਪੰਜ ਸਿੱਖ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਦੋ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਏ ਇੱਕੋ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਇਆ
ਦੋ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਏ ਸੀ
ਜਿੱਤਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਮਨਾ ਦੇ ਕੰਢੇ ਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਣ ਸੀ ਤਿਆਗ ਤੇ
yeah ਹਾਂਜੀ that's true yeah
ਪਰ ਇੱਕੋ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਏ
yeah ਇੱਕੋ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਇਆ you're right yeah he ਹਾਂਜੀ
What are your thoughts on the 2020 referendum?
I think that I don't think it's a very viable situation. Right now, they're supposed to, according to one of the earliest resolutions passed by the UN back in the 1940s, was to have a referendum in Kashmir to decide what to do with Kashmir. And India has not allowed that referendum to happen in 70 years. Running a referendum is no simple little thing. Running a referendum or a big vote takes a lot of organization and a lot of logistics. And I don't think we have the logistics or the ability to do that. It would also be a self-serving referendum because only people who would be bothered to vote would be the ones who are for it, right? And you wouldn't get an honest reflection. I don't think, to me it doesn't seem like a very useful thing to do. What is the importance of Prakarma? Why do we do Prakarma around Maharaj? In Bhai Nandalji's Rayatnama, Guru Gobind Singh Ji says that when you come in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you should do Tin Pradarshana. Teen Pradarshana, that you should walk around Guru Granth Sahib Ji 3 times. I'm not sure about the reasoning behind this. I think in a lot of religions and cultures, there's the idea of walking in circles, and it's about focusing your mind. I think it's about focusing your mind on Guru Sahib. That as you're walking around, you're bringing your attention to Guru Sahib Ji, and you're bringing your focus on Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And I think that's why we do Prakarma. That's what makes sense to me. but I don't know if there's a technical definite reason. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ?
मेरे ख्याल आपको पहला है कि it's the way of respect. When we keep Guru Granth Sahib Ji on right side, but that's the tradition. So we're giving respect to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. The second is the commitment. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਟਮੈਂਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਡੈਡੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਥਰਡ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਇਹ ਤਿੰਨ ਪ੍ਰਕਰਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਰੌਂਗ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਇੱਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ, ਦੂਜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਡੈਡੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ, ਤੀਸਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਦੇयर इज नो एनी अदर वन देन यू।
Did everyone hear that?
Yes.
Yeah. Hanji.
This is a really minor question, but you said 11 missiles would show up and not 12. Why?
The 12th missile, called the Fulkia missile, was not part of the Panth at most times. And it's from them that Nabha, Jind, and Patiala states arise from. So, for example, when Abdali invaded once, they made an alliance with Abdali, the person who did the Vada Kalukara. So much so that Baba Allah Singh took off his dastar and put it at Abdali's feet. Yeah. So they were anti-Panthak. Yeah.
ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ 52 ਆਪਣੇ ਬਚਨਾ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਘੱਟ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੋਈ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ।
Yeah, I agree.
ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਲੜਾਈਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਨੀਤੀ ਵਰਤੀ ਹੈ ਕੁਛ।
Hanji, we do need to educate ourselves more on political and governance issues and be educated. That is part of Guru Sahib Ji's Bhavanja Hukum, to be educated in governance and politics and understand those issues. Hanji.
We are missing today Bhagi and Badshah's concept.
Yeah.
Can Badshah and the Bhagi, either they were Bhagi or they were Badshahs. Same as other Singhs and then typical. We are missing that Bible from the thing from Panth which we can categorize Bhagi, either Bhagi or Badshah. We are not Badshah and either we are Bhagi.
No.
We have done submissions to the government and
Asi Babe ban gaye.
Another recent about Khalsa that took place, why did it really work out?
Why did
It didn't work out.
Can't hear the question back.
the Sarbat Khalsa that happened a few years ago, why didn't it work out?
Yeah, or like it didn't seem like it worked out.
The issue was, it's a little bit complicated, but one of the issues was that it was hijacked by certain groups, and so it became more their own political game. And it, for that reason, didn't have the impact on the whole Panth that it should have. The other problem is that without the SGPC or without control of Harmandir Sahib, it's very hard to do anything. And that's the real problem right now, is that the SGPC controls everything. They receive so much money and they have such a stranglehold on the Panth because of that. So without major reforms to the SGPC, I mean, it's incredible to think about. Our Akal Takat is technically run by the Indian government because it falls under the SGPC Act, which is the Gurdwara Act, which is a law in the Indian government. So if we want to make a change with how Harmandir Sahib and Akal Takat Sahib are run, we have to get a law changed in Delhi,
it's impossible.
which is impossible.
Because they didn't send the agenda to all the stakeholders. That was the main point. So in Sarbat Khalsa, the agenda was sent to all the stakeholders.
Hanji.
And then they decided this time they didn't send any.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ।
Agenda was-
So basically there is no consensus.
So can you just remind us a bit on why SGPC was formed and formation SGPC?
So we can see that in our history, we have tried two different ways of running 4 different ways of running the Panth. Bana Singh Bahadur was a Panch Pyara model, then the Sarbat Khalsa model, then Ranjit Singh, and now SGPC, right? The Ranjit Singh and the SGPC model have been a disaster. And the reality is that when we go to a system that's outside of Sikh norm, outside of what the Guru created for us, then we're going to have disasters. If we stay within the Sikh system, like Sarbat Khalsa and Panch Pyare model, then we will be fine. Those people who made the SGPC were amazing Gursikhs, really incredible. And they put everything on the line to free the Gurdwara. These were really incredible people. They were not like bad people in any way. The system that they set up, though, by basing it on the British model, was inherently flawed. So that when they brought electoral politics into it, within 2 generations it had become corrupt. By 1960s it was corrupt. So it only took from 1920s to 1960s only 40 years for it to become corrupt. And since 1960 it's just gone down the drain, right? So they made it because they thought it was the best system at the time, and they were following the British model and they were copying the British. And that was not the best idea. Why is Day given to Panch Singh before it is given to the rest of Sangat? What if all the Sangat present is Bibiyan? So first of all, I believe that the Panch Prashad should be given to Panch Amritari regardless of women or male, but that's my opinion. Prashad is a gift from the Guru. So in the historical time, the Gurus would give the Prashad to the Sangat. The Prashad would be made, and then Guruji would put their panja on the Prashad, and then it was given to the Sangat. So first the Guru had to accept it. Now we have 2 Gurus, Guru Granth and Guru Khalsa Panth. Guru Granth Sahib Ji accepts the Prashad through the Kirpan Ped. So the Kirpan going through the Prashad, that's representing Guru Granth Sahib Ji accepting the Prashad. Then it's given to the Panch, so the Panch accepted. Then it's given to the Sangat because both of the Gurus have accepted it. That's my understanding of it.
We're done.
Okay, we're done. We're out of time. That's what I've been told. Okay, thank you so much for these last 2 lectures, for bearing with me and for your patience. And apologies for all mistakes and mispronunciations. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
So, as a token of recognizing Santbir Ji's seva, giving a sarupa from Khalsa camp to Santbir Singh. So Gagan Singh will present the sarupa. Bole Sorne